Ezeoke is an innovation and management consultant as well as a practicing solicitor called the Nigerian Bar. His expertise spans trends and innovation research with a legal focus on energy, sustainability, and intellectual property. He holds an LLB from the University of Essex, an LLM in energy and environmental law from the University of Aberdeen, and an MBA from the University of Westminster. Okechukwu has served as a consultant for leading global brands including Zara, Dell, and Sony. Beyond consultancy, he is deeply engaged in research on the fashion industry, with a particular interest in the role of small and medium enterprises in driving economic growth in developing countries. He currently serves as the CEO of Clo Fashion Limited and is a business development partner at Anaka Ezeoke and Co. So we'll be having Mr. Okechukwu Ezeoke. I'm sorry for pronunciation. Please take his session.
Good morning. So everybody's wearing suits, looking very sharp. I mean, I'm looking like I'm going for wedding very soon. To be fair, I wore a suit. I just said, let me be free. So pardon me. First of all, I'd like to know who are the lawyers, who are the business people. Sure, lawyers. Everybody. All of you are all lawyers. Yes, that's not the law. So anybody fully in business. Voila. So my name is Okechukwu. Actually, butchered very beautifully. So brief background, you've heard of the accolades on paper. But I'm more of a legal consultant now than even a solicitor. The funny thing about these particular partnerships is that the companies that utilize them, they are usually dissolved most times on that 12 months. It might seem like a waste of time and all of that, but they are usually dissolved on that 12 months. You've seen all those Katy Perry X so brand, this person X so brand. While they can use other LLCs, this is normally what they prefer. Why? It allows a lot of creative retention. You say this is what you're doing, this is my own part. I'm the business, I'm the marketing, I will do influencer marketing, I will do anything I have to do my image rights for the celebrity, anybody you're doing it with. This is the best way they do it. In Nigeria, I'm not sure this is something that has really caught on. Most people prefer to just do influencer contracts and all of that. I'm still waiting to see a Nigerian brand that will make use of it. I'm not really sure I've seen anyone yet. The competent trustees. Any ideas? How you can use with fashion entities? Anybody? So this is also something that a lot of I don't know if you guys know OSC. So they're like a training school and they get a lot of grants and things like that. So this is like something they can use as a vehicle. They can allow for trustees for things like training. You've seen all those, maybe British Institute or something would give a grant so fashion is a fashion business and it's for the sole purpose of training women, training the girl child, all those things. They normally do it as incorporated trustees. Now, you decided on how you want to structure the business. You decided I'm going to go with the business name, I'm going to go with the liability company, incorporated trustees. You decided. This is now the parts. that you might get to. This is not legal advice. It's just the best way for you to go about it. You still need services of a lawyer, being yourself, or anybody you want to use. Name search reservation. Sometimes people have the opinion that I have my business name. That's all you need. I don't know if you guys have encountered the case of someone has chosen a business name, you go on CAC portal, you search, name is not available. Or the name is available but they reject the name. From your own side now, if you're the person with the business, you can tweak it around. It's not something a lot of clients want to hear. They will ask you, what do you mean my business name is not available? Oh, can't you do this? Can't you do that? Unfortunately, that's just how it is. Obviously, your submission of forms, corporation documents, obtaining your TIN, environment, VAT registration, bank account opening, those corporation things, filing annual return to CAC. Now, these are basic company duties. Trademark registration. This is the holy grail for fashion brands. This part here. In fact, for some brands, once they finish all this is the next thing you should be doing. Sometimes, before the brand has even started, please go and do this immediately. From a business perspective, this thing, your trademark, is more important than the existence of the company itself. Because once you secure this, there are so many other things you can do. You can decide to use a trading name that is different from your corporate name. You can decide to do other things. But once you cannot secure this trademark, your business has ended. Just start looking for something else, a new name, a new sign, a new whatever. Because, like I said, it's the holy grail. Now that cosmetics, so on. So this is something that is not really in use in Nigeria. You know when you buy clothes and you see all those labels, the care labels, you can see it's 100% cotton, it's this, it's that. Legally, every garment made in this country is supposed to contain all those labels. Labels telling you what the fabric composition is, telling you how to care for the garments. This is not a, if you want, you do it. It is a legal obligation. And Standard Organization Nigeria is once in charge of that, but Nigerians don't do it. Even the people buying the clothes, how many people even check to see what the care label says? How many people even know the composition of the garment you're putting on now? Some of you now, you might be wearing crepe, you might be wearing all these funny things from that the marketers tell us, but you are not even sure what you are wearing. Is there anybody here that is exactly sure on the composition of the fabric you are putting on? Okay. Nobody has time for that. You know? But then if you're a fashion brand that is looking to scale internationally, it is something that you cannot do without. Certain suppliers, stockists, they will not take your garments if there are no labeling standards. And once the industry starts maturing, starts getting better, this is something that becomes super important. You will probably not be able to operate without any of this. This is something I appreciate will happen in probably like 8-10 years. So for now, you don't need to really know what you are putting on exactly.
So, you said for trademark.
Yes.
Registration. You said once you're not able to secure your trademark, your business has ended. How is
So when I say your business has ended, it's not different.
no, I understand because I mean, it could be. I mean, I just need an understanding because if you've secured your name on CSE, the trademark registration might perhaps be your design. So, I mean, or your word, within your name. But what do you mean, please?
Let's go back. So I think like I said, it's a common misconception that, first of all, like I said earlier, yes, this is law, but then for fashion, it is primarily a business-driven entity, and the law is just complementary. Before a business even gets to the point of registry, trust me when I say that business owner has run that business for like 1 year inside their heads. They have done their own work. They have chosen their brand colors. They have chosen their logos. They have chosen their brand name way before they even think of making it formal. Which is why I said to me, even trying to just get that trademark first, then you proceed. Why? Because it's a business encumbrance. If you've decided that you're starting your business and this is the insignia you're going to use, and now you cannot register that insignia, it is easier said than done than say just change it. So I'll give you an example. I had a client 2 years ago. She had chosen her logo, her catchphrase, everything. She hadn't registered the company. Everything was there. Only for her to try to do the trademark, and someone had registered her business name as a trademark. And this is UK. And registered her catchphrase, everything. And we had to contact the person through a series of negotiation before the person decided to sell the trademark to us for £6,800. So £6,800 for business that I have not started. Is even if you started the business, you will just ask yourself, come on, it's not to just do new logo, just let me rest. In fact, for fashion, I would even say, in today's day and age, securing things like your website name, Instagram handle, TikTok handle, all those things are even more important than CSE registration. Because at the end of the day, that's the vehicle of your business. And then there's no point registering and doing all these things if your business cannot take off. So let's rephrase from a business perspective. Please, Instagram handles, social media handles, trademarks, then you can go ahead with the rest. So it does not mean that the business has died literally. It's just a huge encumbrance on moving forward. Now you've settled on all these things. All your documents are ready, all your papers are in hand. It's time to start your business. But what do you need to start that business? You're a business name, you just need yourself. That's it. Start doing what you're supposed to do. Now, if you're in a, let's say, a large fashion organization, you will need a board or an advisory team. Now, this is more often than not going to be the case for incorporated trustees. You need an advisory team. It's not, that one is almost non-negotiable. For like Fashion Institute now, Fashion Institute, they have a board like this. It's not negotiable. As a business owner, as a CEO, MD, whatever it is not absolutely necessary at the beginning. As your business grows, you will definitely need a CFO, an operations manager, things that will comprise your board. But for the beginning, you can just start off yourself. If you have a partner, very important to avoid stories that touch on additional. This is usually one of the biggest issues I actually see with fashion brands that come in terms of partnerships. There's no partnership agreement. Let me throw a question to you now. You decided to partner with your friend to start a fashion brand. The first year, your fashion brand does 80 million in revenue. Your partner has decided to relocate. Your partner is someone that comes in 2 days a week. You are there Monday to Saturday. She's relocating now, she has said you must be 50-50. How do you defend your own self now? Because you'll be putting in more work, you're putting in time, effort, and your own money as well. How do you take a larger chunk of that profit rather than splitting it 50-50? There's no way. It's going to be he said, she said, let's negotiate, let's do all this one. It's a lot of stress you don't even want to go through. But something that you have done in less than 20 minutes. Now imagine you're not talking about 80 million, you're talking about 800 million. As is with tech founders. People are disputing a $2 million payout. Now, for some people, they will say, but you're getting $1 million already. What's the issue? The issue is that the person is already calculating what $200,000 extra you can do for them. And they will now get into a fight that will result in a legal battle. That at the end of the day, when they go through legal fees and all the other nice, legal opinions that we're going to give them, they will probably end up around 700K each. So they really get anything. It's a pointless waste of time and resources. So to avoid any stress, this agreement is so important. Okay, especially for fashion again, like I said, when you're doing a partnership, it's not always the fact that two of you come with the same skill sets. In fact, I always advise against going with a partner that has the same skill set as you. If you're more business savvy, go with a creative person. If you're not creative, go with a business person. You guys cannot offer the same value. That's the honest truth. You cannot actually offer the same value. For the creative person, it's more a thing of perceived value. And for the other person, it's a thing of actual value. So these agreements will allow you to just know exactly how you're putting it down. Proper accounting records. Please do not use your business money and be putting into your personal accounts. When it's time for you to take records, you start seeing new stories that you don't even want to hear. Also, it does not allow you to have a proper outlook of you on what your business looks like, what it is doing, and what your expenses look like. Standards of operation. This is a general thing more than a fashion thing. But I would say that it's peculiar to the fashion industry in the sense that you want standardized products. You don't want someone to buy a size 10 today and tomorrow this person is buying a size 10 for their sister and the person is swimming inside. So this standard of operation includes things like measurements, standard measurements, lengthwise, widthwise, tolerance for your garments. It also assists you with quality control so that you can put out at least 90% efficiency every time. Regular internal reviews and audits. So for this one, I would say it's more of a thing of growth and expansion. You review processes every other time. Why? To find more efficient ways to do them. Efficiency is money in fashion. can use less fabric for this, less interfacing for this. There's more money that you can make at the end of the day. Now, for fashion brands, these 3 contracts are the most important contracts you probably ever come across. Manufacturing agreements, distribution agreements, and brand collaboration or influencer contracts. These all happen at different levels and facets of fashion. If you're a fashion brand that doesn't want its own production, you outsource production. For me now, my company does production for a lot of fashion brands. So they outsource their production to us. You need a manufacturing agreement. This is almost non-negotiable to avoid delivery timelines and penalties. Quality control, defect management, confidentiality and your IP protection, dispute resolution, all these things are covered in manufacturing agreements. Without this manufacturing agreement, losses can just cyclone anyhow. Things as little as I said I was going to provide you the items on the 13th of June, and it is coming 2 weeks later, can have huge financial repercussions. It's not just 2 weeks. It is your time, it is money. Especially if you agree to something like a distribution agreement. If you agree to a distribution agreement and you do not have a manufacturer's agreement, you are playing with yourself. Because for these distribution agreements also include all these things. And most importantly, include termination rights. Distributor tells you, I need these garments in 2 weeks' time. Your manufacturer has told you with their mouth, the garment will be ready in 2 weeks' time. It's not ready, distribution agreement is terminated because it will not meet the timeline. You've incurred financial costs to make those garments. You're not sitting with a heap of 300 dresses, 400 shorts that you don't know what you're going to do with because you're not carrying the manufacturing agreement. Brand collaboration and influencer contracts. This one now is a very, I won't say it's very important, but it's still important. In the sense that these days, at least 50% of marketing is done through influencers. You might think you just give your influencer a dress, please wear that on TikTok for me, end of story. What happens when the influencer says, my video was only for you to post, it was not for you to run adverts. What happens when the influencer says, yes, you can run adverts in my video, but why is you running adverts in my video after 3 months? You've gotten a big contract because of that dress. You decided to make that picture as a billboard. The influencer is calling you next week. Please, why am I seeing myself on top of language? It sounds very funny, but I'm telling you, real things have happened to you. You're not asking me questions. In your head, you're like, what kind of nonsense question is this? I paid you for this, but the fact that you paid does not mean that you can go plaster her face all over here. So all those clauses, agreements, they will all be contained in these things to avoid stories. In fact, everything I told you here is to avoid stories because prevention is better than what? Cure, please. IP as a business story. Remember when I told you guys that your trademark is the most important thing as a fashion business? Why? It gives you legal ownership and protection, allows you to build brand recognition, helps prevent counterfeiting and brand misuse. Now you see this part. Counterfeiting is a major issue, regardless of where you are. While it does help prevent counterfeiting, it cannot completely contain it. People that go to counterfeit goods are going to counterfeit goods either ways, but it's still important to have that trademark in place. Now it can become a valuable business asset. It can be licensed, franchised, or sold. Let's get to it. Nike swoosh. If you come in here now and you see that Nike swoosh here, your mind just goes Nike. You don't need to write Nike on that. If you buy a shoe and you see the Nike swoosh there, you are, for all intents and purposes, assuming that it is a Nike shoe. If you open it and you see Oluwadike, you will start feeling insecure. What have I done? So that's how important it is to have your trademark, because it becomes also a symbol of your brand. Anybody, you need to write it down. When they see this person is wearing this person is wearing that, this person is wearing this. Now, this trademark and design, they work hand in hand. In the sense that some trademarks are not always designs. They can be words and names. When you marry this to this, that is when you get a structured and proper brand identity. Why? The same thing, depends on from copying or imitating your designs. It adds that commercial value, like I was talking about. Still the same thing. Now, this is the very, very tricky part. Someone should pronounce this thing for you. Yeah? Vuitton. What's the trademark of Vuitton? Red soles. Yeah. Now, you know what you talked about at the beginning, that this thing is your soul protection, it's your soul this one, it's your soul that one. It's a lie. It's not every time, and it's not every way that can protect you. I'm sure you'll be wondering, okay, Vuitton soles, they are red. So any shoe that has a red sole should be a Vuitton. But no. So for a shoe to actually be infringing on Vuitton's IP, the top of the shoe must be a different shade from the red sole. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If your shoe is red and the sole is red, the IP is not infringing on it. Now, another thing. What the Vuitton has registered is a certain color of red. This is where you now have mischief coming into play. Because they could not have registered all the colors and shades of red. So someone can still pass off as them. For it to be breaching their IP, you must be using that certain shade, or those shades that they also now registered. So you can see that it does grant protection, but in some cases it is not whole and complete protection. Copyrights, lookbooks, and fashion editorials. See all those catalogs you open, all those things, or maybe you go on the website, you have a lookbook and everything. Those are usually the ways this is now protected. But excuse me, I recently saw an argument for something which got me thinking. If I write a poem, what protects it? Copyright. If I write a poem on a fabric, is it the fabric that is protected, or the poem on the fabric Sorry? So if a patent is specific, in the sense that you register something, the P is 2 centimeters. If the P becomes 5 centimeters, is it covered? So this brand is arguing that the IP has been infringed upon because their copyright is being used. The other brand is arguing that this poem is readily available for everybody to use. And it is not the same thing because the font and sizing of the poem is different. Mischief. There's no way you want to argue, it's actually mischief. But that's what they will go and argue. I will wait for their results.
Just to clarify, for shoes, I mean that the soles are registered in black and white, and because from what we understand, said in order to avoid you being so specific, you're registering a trademark. You register it in white and black. Like if you register it in white and black, you can actually use any design. I don't know if that. Yeah,
So,
any other color.
understand what you're saying. But the problem with colors is that colors are always infinite. That white that you're talking about, is it off-white? Is it ivory white? Is it what white? Is what kind of white? You are almost in limbo. So what I would say, like I said, is pick the one that you know works for you. Any other thing, it will happen. Even if you go through all the legal things you can do, somebody will still copy you. It's just impossible. Just give you at least some level of comfort that somebody is not just somewhere doing the factory, they are just producing all your items. So I picked was to avoid. Like I said, from the beginning, to register your IP early, that is a primary and very necessary issue. IP clause is an employee contract arrangement. This is the most important one for fashion brands. If you're not a creative partner, like I was talking about, you probably have a creative partner or an employee that makes your designs. If that employee leaves, do they own the right to all those designs? Do you stop producing the designs because the employee is no longer in your employ? These are the things your clauses can avoid. It's not being mean or anything, it's business. Any design you make while you're here belongs to the company. If you go, good luck. We continue to produce our designs. If you do not have it, the person might as well send you a cease and desist later to stop producing their designs. Copying other people's design, all the fashion designers in Nigeria. Pinterest designers. LV up, Gucci down. You all know what I'm talking about. There's a thin line between inspiration and copy. A very, very thin line. It is now bordering on intent. Whether you intended to steal or you intended to just use as reference. There are some inspirations and actual items that there is obviously no difference. Changing and adding one frill to the bottom does not mean that the design is not still stolen. It doesn't mean Now, the good thing with this, or I won't say it's a good thing, but the realistic thing with this is that unless you are basing your protection based on things like fabric, prints, most especially, your challenge will most likely fail. Why? It's a business game, it's a numbers game. By the time you get to the courts, you speak other English, the person has finished selling your clothes and he has moved on to the next best thing. It will be hard to prove because what initially the court may grant you is a cease and desist that may take a month, 2 months to come. We don't have any interest, someone can sell in 2 months. Shein, all those Timu, they can probably sell like 2,000 for a dress before that cease and desist will come. Secondly, that cease and desist is it coming in Nigeria and the UK? How are you going to enforce it? Okay, they stop selling it in Nigeria. Will they stop selling it in America? Will they stop selling it in Malaysia? Now, there's someone that is intent on copying you, will copy you. It's a lot of work to copy you, but someone that is intent to do it will do it. But then if you're in the same jurisdiction, in the same place, you can put a stop to that immediately. Although our courts have not really been tested for this, but then you have a clearer outlook on if it is actually just your pattern that someone has lifted and has started producing. All the things you need to scale, your due diligence. It's not every fund that someone just brings. Oh, I have 20 million to give you. You just have to open your hand and collect. Why? What is the payback period? What are the terms and conditions? What percentage of my company are you taking? Are you repaying them their 20 million? After repaying them their 20 million, paying them 10 million extra, and after you pay that, now giving them 15% of your company. Is that what you are doing? Hasty funds. Any investor that is willing to just give you money quick, you should also be wary of the best. Clean shareholding agreements, due diligence on these things can save your clients a lot. It's not just oh, we're ready to give you 100 million, you just open your hand. This is our account number. They send the money. You start doing wrong way up and down Lagos. Next thing they will come the next 2 months. Oh, you're supposed to give us 20 million this month. You start wondering, by the time you look at it, you're supposed to pay 400 million or 100 million loan. NDAs, contracting partnerships. This NDA thing for Ashore, I think it's very pointless, honestly. From a business perspective, it is very pointless. So, I'm saying that because 90% of the designs you see are copied designs or imitated designs in some way and form. It's also very hard to enforce NDAs in Nigeria for designs. Why? Because it's very hard to find one production company or one brand that can do everything by themselves. This now goes also to things like influencer contracts and all of that. You sign an NDA not to expose a certain client's fabric. You've called an influencer to your studio to come and dance and make videos. The client's fabric is showing at the back. Have you breached their NDA? Nobody can tell what that is. Only the client knows that that is their item. But they are telling you now that you breached their NDA by showing their listing online. Me generally, there are some NDAs I don't sign from a business perspective. Sometimes, if I see the design, I will just tell you I cannot produce it. Why? Some NDAs are so ridiculous. Someone wants to produce white t-shirts and you're sending me an NDA. In that NDA, you cannot produce this kind of design for anybody for the next 6 months. I'm not going to teach for anybody in Lagos. So as I said that, from a business perspective, you must always look at it apart from it being legal. Numbers, like I said, do not put your business money in your personal accounts. All these things affect how you appear as a business and what you can see at first glance. We talk about staff contracts, clear job rules, statutory deductions, and let's come here, statutory deductions. So, as lawyers, you know that all these statutory deductions, it's not every time I explain. Even everybody's still here now. If I start asking some tax questions, you may not know. Even the tax lawyers, sometimes they don't know. They have to call a tax consultant. But as much as possible, I would say, start paying all your statutory deductions as early as you can. Even if you are not paying it 100% accurate, just start paying something. Why? This is not, I'm not telling you anything illegal. I'm just saying that at the end of the day, they might have a different computation from what you are computing. It is better to have proof that you are paying something than to have proof of nothing at all. This is bad advice. The good advice I'm telling you is pay everything how you are supposed to pay it, but it is not a business advice. It is very unrealistic. Because half of the time you don't even know what you are doing. Even if you contact a lawyer, they will tell you the one they know. They might come up with one new thing, another day, you will not be going, oh, you have not paid this one for 1 year. But then the most important part is to pay what you know and you honestly believe that is what you are supposed to pay. Once you do that, at least if anybody comes, you have something to show. You're not just hiding the window. Please. Come to the end. Register your business properly as your need comes. If you use business name that is good for you, please register your business name. Don't register an LLC because Jekupe is registering an LLC. Don't register incorporated trustees because fashion law institutes are going to register. Do what is good for you and your business. Protect your brand legally. Don't carry police to anybody's shop and tell them that they are producing your items. Have your IP, have everything you're supposed to have so that you have at least a legal foothold for any enforcement you're trying to achieve. Like I said, you may not be able to protect everything, but it gives you a moral standing, first of all, to now pursue any other thing you want to do. You've been in situations where you want to pursue something, but you know that you don't really have the best moral standing. So you yourself, you're a bit hesitant. If you have all these things, you know that yes, you must stop this thing you're doing. Use your contracts wisely. One thing I've seen is fashion brands, especially when they start, they love contracts. Contract for this one, contract for that one, contract for this one. It's not everything that you need a contract for. Why? As a business, you need to practice discretion. This is business advice and not illegal. You need to practice discretion. There's a way you send contracts to, let's say, a factory. They will just tell you to be going. Nobody, I don't want to open my email and see somebody that just wants to make 20 items, sending me 7 different contracts to sign. Once I see 7 contracts, I will just close the email and do what I'm doing. They are wasting my energy. So you yourself, you're putting yourself at risk by not using discernment to send your contract. If you're going to send a contract, what are the 3 contracts? Manufacturing agreement and distribution and please, the 3 is enough for someone to swallow and be okay. Don't overstress somebody, don't overstress yourself too. If it's just the manufacturer, you don't need the distribution agreement. If it's just the distributor, you don't need the manufacturer agreement. So you're just providing 2 agreements. Be investor ready, even if you're not ready to collect 1 naira. Always ask yourself every 6 months, if somebody wants to invest in my business today, can I take funds? If your answer is no, it means you missed something up here. Mind you, am I able to collect money? If not, I must collect money. If you're able to collect money, it means that you've practiced all these things properly. And if you practice all these things properly, you're on your way to trying your best to be successful, being successful, growing, scaling, whatever it is you may be, you're on that right path. I'd like to say thank you for listening. Anybody who has any extra questions, can please ask.
Question and answer. Question and answer after
Okay, afterwards.
every session.
All right.